Watchers, welcome to Perth Watch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Guys, as I look over what I've done on this channel, it surprises me somewhat that I've only done one Citizen watch review before, and that's my AT4010, which I did over 3 years ago now. It's such a great watch. I still have it, and it's a testament to the excellence of Citizen. And today I have my second Citizen review. Now, the company needs absolutely no introduction, I'm sure. Massive brand, and in my understanding, hugely successful with massive sales in North America, and hopefully a lot of my viewers who are from there will find this review interesting. So guys, today's piece comes in very simple, unpretentious packaging. It's in this box. So without further ado, let's flip it around and take a closer look at what's in here. Alright guys, so here we have the package on the table. So nice, just little plain printing, and it's pleasingly fairly plain. There's nothing else in here. Unfortunately, it doesn't really spin because there's a little bit of rubberization of whatever cover they put on this cardboard box. Okay, so doesn't spin. Pretty much a 0 out of 5 there, and just nice plain black. Limited warranty, general instructions. I'm not going to show you that, and then the instruction manual, which is multilingual. And nothing too interesting apart from this water resistant chart here, which it says, down the third line, it says 10 or 20 bar water resistant. And if you look on the columns, you're not supposed to use it for diving, and fair enough. But this watch is actually a Divers 200, and there is no Divers 200 row here, which is kind of curious. They haven't really included that, but anyway, that's really the manual for you. All right, so let's just take it off and undo the clasp and show you guys this rather gorgeous watch in closer detail here. So guys, this is the Citizen Promaster Eco Drive Divers 200 meter. The model number CA0710-82L. Quite a mouthful, but all the details down the bottom and the caption here, as well as in the video description if you want to check out more about this watch. Now the MSRP, as far as I gather, is $495 USD, but on grey retail it's going for around $370. Usually on, I think authorized dealer retail, I imagine you would be able to get it for close to around 400 USD. But let me know if you have any experiences purchasing this actual watch or any other Citizen. Alright guys, so first thing, as I usually like to do, is talk about the caliber, which in this case is a fairly basic caliber. So it's the B612, a Citizen caliber B612. It does have 1/5 of a second chronograph, which is provided through the central seconds hand, 24-hour totalizer at the 9 o'clock position, running seconds at the 6 o'clock position. You can see it ticking away on screen there, and a 60-minute totalizer in this case is at the 12 o'clock position. Now the quick set date display you can see implemented on the window at the 3 o'clock position. In this watch is actually bordered by a little bit of a window there. Okay, so there we go. Eco Drive, of course, meaning it's got Citizen's proprietary solar power. They're one of the best in the business, and it's provided through what I think are those 3 subdials. But let me know if you know better about how sunlight gets through into this particular caliber. Talking about the case now, so pretty chunky. Let me just centralize that bezel, in case some of you are starting to get allergic reactions to that, as my friend Graham tends to do. 44.5 millimeter diameter case in 316L steel. Fairly chunky thickness at 13.8 millimeters thickness, 22 millimeter lug width, and a lug-to-lug distance which is fairly substantial, as you might expect, 50 millimeters between my thumbnails there. Overall weight, you can imagine, fairly chunky steel watch with solid bracelet. It's going to be fairly heavy. It's 176 grams adjusted. Of course, if you have a larger wrist than mine, it's going to be even heavier than that. I've taken off a few links. Okay, so in terms of finishing, well, it's it's got the bezel insert. The bezel itself is brush and polish, alternating. Hopefully you can see the intermittent parts, in between parts there are brushed. It's got longitudinal brushing on the top surface of the lugs, vertical brushing on the side of the case. So that's kind of interesting. A lot of watches do tend to have horizontal brushing, but they've actually gone for vertical brushing. Hopefully you can appreciate that, even between the crown guards there. And then at the bottom, look at that case back there. All right, Citizen, that's a bit upside down, but what have you. Circular brushing both on the bottom of the lugs as well as most of that solid case back there. One thing I will mention, of course, is it's got a polished bevel. So that bevel, top bevel, 45 degree there, nicely done, right? Fairly good quality finishing, and they've gone for polish there between those brush finishes, which is a nice little flourish. Okay, so you've seen that screw down solid case back. They're not going to fool around with the display case back on this watch, and a polish sign crown. Okay, so Promaster, I think that's what that symbol is. Polish pushers as well, which actually have screw locks. So screw down crown, screw down pushers. This is a full diver's 200-meter watch, and you can see that in red on the dial there under that eco drive. So meaning it's ISO 6425 compliant. So full diver's 200 proper dive watch specification and testing. Okay, so talking about the dial now. The dial here is, hopefully the light play, lets you see that. This is a blue sunburst dial, very dark blue, but nonetheless it is a sunburst. It's got peripheral azurage, so there's a bit of texture on the periphery there, and it's got printed details, so all the words as well as the peripheral chapter ring is printed. It's got embossed indices. I'm not sure if it's really applied. Let me know if you know more details, but it looks like it's embossed indices, which I have that polished steel or chrome look, and then it's got applied, I think applied dial rings around two of the sub dials there. The sub dials have gray azurage texture, right? And then on top of the texture, I think it's got a clear disc. It really looks like it's got a clear disc with printed numerals, with the sub dial details there. And I assume that that's to let the light pass onto the gray solar panel area underneath, right? So again, let me know if you know more about this technology, Citizen Eco Drive, than I do. The hands are polished obelisk style hands, obelisk shaped hands. It's got a red colored central second chronograph, right? I've mentioned that central seconds already. And then the sub-dial hands are all in kind of this polished steel or chrome look. Loom-wise, it's got excellent loom, right? Citizen, I don't know what they use. They don't tell me what they use. Let me know if you're aware of what loom Citizen uses. But it is excellent, very nicely applied, lasts all night very easily. And it's got two colors, right? It's got green and blue, and on all the usual spots, all 12 indices, the bezel pip, as well as the running seconds hand and the 60-minute totalizer. So you can kind of use this, in the dark in terms of running the chronograph as well. Okay, so around the dial is a 60-click unidirectional dive style bezel. So 60 clicks, not 120 click. It's got a gloss aluminium bezel insert there. Let's just listen to it. 5, 10. Okay, so that's 60 click bezel, and I find it curious that they went for 60 clicks. I thought a company like Citizen would go for 120, but it is what it is. Some people, many people actually don't mind that it's 60 clicks. One thing I will mention, that the alignment is slightly off, and we'll go into that in the cons later. Above that is not sapphire, but a flat mineral crystal, mineral glass. Okay, that's what it is there. Fairly good AR. As you've seen this watch, you can see it really doesn't pick up much, reflections. The glass is actually pretty nicely done as I look straight down into the dial there. Okay, let's move on to the bracelet here. So, straight brushing with polish parts, polish facets there, brushing at the side as well. So, this is solid steel, of course, wouldn't expect anything different from Citizen. Solid end links, and push pin adjustment. That's really what we're getting there. 22mm lug width, it does taper to 20mm at the narrower portion there. It's got a push button release clasp, right, just there. And solid arms with pressed metal keeper, but I'll show you, it's got an excellent ratchet, So 8 position, that's about 21 or 22mm, right, that you can kind of adjust per position here. So very nicely done, I gotta say. I'll just show you the inside there. You can see the ratchet mechanism, one of the better ones at this price point, I would think. Very pleasing, very easy to use, and definitely very handy in sizing this on the go. Okay, so there you go, guys. That's the entire description of the watch. Let's snap it on now for the wrist shot for you guys. So there you go. This Promaster Eco Drive Chronograph Divers 200 meter on my 17 centimeter wrist. Okay, so it is a large watch, definitely a little bit on the large side for me, and not a watch I would choose to use with shirt and tie, but casual wise, it's all right. Definitely a tough looking sport slash water activity type of watch. I haven't shown you the chronograph running, and I guess some of you might be upset at me for not doing that, but let's just start that now. Okay, you can see that running. Stop and reset. So 1/5 of a second that you can see there. Okay, and for the rest of the review, I'm just gonna keep that running so you can see how it kind of runs live there. Okay, so guys, what have I enjoyed particularly about this watch? Like, I would say it's definitely typical Citizen excellence or goodness, a solid quality construction. It's got great original design, right? Citizen don't copy, right? They're like Seiko, they do their own thing, and this is like nothing else. It's definitely all their own design. It's got the Eco Drive technology. Citizen seem to be at the forefront, and they do seem to have maintained their position at the forefront of solar technology for watches. And it's got Divers 200 on top of everything else. So it's a proper ISO 6425 compliant watch. Very nicely done, multi-layered dial. I like the detail, the three-dimensionality of this dial. Fantastic lume, one of the best in the business, equal of Seiko, I would say easily, that Citizen tend to do. And it's a simple yet functional caliber. Nothing too fancy, just straightforward, quartz analog chronograph. It does what it does, just straightforward and simple, nothing too fancy. And then I talked about it, an excellent class, one of the best class at this price range that I have seen. What are the weaknesses? Well, I would say, not too much to say really. The bracelet finishing, I'm not sure if the light's going to pick this up here, but it is a bit lackluster. It's not even, it's a little bit wavy, not the best part of the watch by any means. 60 clicks only on the bezel. Maybe some people don't mind that. Some people would wonder why not they push for 120 clicks. And one thing I would say is that it's actually misaligned, which is quite annoying. So you can see that's a little bit on the right, 1 click, and it's a little bit on the left, and some people would be driven mad by that, and I do find that quite annoying that it's misaligned. Okay, so that's a fact on this watch here. Lastly, it's big, it's thick, it's heavy. It is not for everyone, right? It's chunky, and definitely I would not advise to use this with a shirt and tie. I wouldn't. And certainly it reduces its versatility and the size. Some people wouldn't want 44.5 millimeters. Okay, so there we go. That's my thoughts on this rather good Citizen watch. Let's just flip the camera around now for the wrap up. So there you go, guys, my review of this Citizen Promaster Eco Drive Divers 200 watch, the CA0710. Let me know your thoughts on this particular piece. If you have any Citizen watches, would love to hear what particular models you like or you own and your experiences with it. This specific watch is by no means a perfect watch, but so much Citizen goodness in it. So really let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. If you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. New content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for sticking with me, and as always, I'll catch you guys again next time. you.